Hello and welcome to Cryptid by State, New Jersey. Today we are continuing the unexpectedly popular Cryptid by State series, where we are now traveling to New Jersey. Granted, I know this isn't exactly a month from the last video, but I am planning on a special event near the end of the month, so that would make it impossible to upload this as well. However, due to the response on the last video, I doubt anyone will have an issue with this being made earlier than expected. I also wanted to mention that when I started this series, I already had in mind that New Jersey would be next. But after this, all the other states will be decided by you. I already have quite a few votes marked down, with Florida and Pennsylvania being neck and neck. Just so it's stated, even though I live in Pennsylvania, I am not putting in a vote for myself. We keep things as unbiased as possible around here. So come along with me as we make the long road trip from our previous location of Illinois and head to New Jersey. New Jersey holds the title as being one of the original 13 colonies, and as of such is also the third one to become officially a state on December 18th in 1787. The state received its name from Sir John Berkeley and Sir George Carteret, who at the time were given a royal charter for starting a colony in the new land. The two decided to name it after the island of Jersey, which is located in an English channel and is part of the British Isles. This state is also known for its historical importance, as well as a bit of controversy, especially when it comes to the debate of its nickname. It is known as the Garden State, with many citing it originated during the Centennial Exhibition in Philadelphia on August 24, 1876. Some say the Attorney General of New Jersey, Abraham Browning, is the originator of the name, due to him mentioning that the state was like an immense barrel filled with good things to eat, with Pennsylvania taking from one end and New York taking from the other. In this, he called it the Garden State. While this is commonly the accepted answer, many claim it came from earlier than that. Outside of all of that, I never realized that the state outline resembles an old man sitting in a chair wearing a fez-type hat. But enough of the history lesson, let's get into what you clicked onto this video for. Cryptids. Much like Illinois, New Jersey has quite a few cryptids packed inside a relatively small state. It actually is one of the top 5 smallest states by size. Now of course this area is home to one of the few landmark cryptids, which would be the Jersey Devil. While I could go on and on about this cryptid, and in many videos have, I'm not going to talk about it much here. This is only due to the fact that I already made a cryptid spotlight video on it, and with this series I like to focus mainly on lesser known ones, such as the one that has been spotted mainly around Sussex County, but also in surrounding locations since 1975 until present. The creature is known simply as Big Red Eye. While hearing that name, you may think it is something of nightmare fuel, such as the image I should be showing you, but in reality it actually is simply described as being a Bigfoot. This being is said to stand around 7 feet tall, some say 8, and is thought to weigh around 400 pounds, which sort of fits due to so many reports stating it is quite lanky, since most Sasquatch have the same height, but are said to be anywhere from 600 to 1,000 pounds. This creature is always described as being very hairy, but I have yet to see a color mentioned, although most represent it as reddish-brown. The main distinct feature is that this Sasquatch is said to have red eyes. Not in the sense that they glow, but that the pupil is actually red. Most sightings occur around 2:30 in the morning, where people hear it in the forest letting out a low, blood-curdling scream, which can last for up to an hour, and is heard for miles around. According to sightings, this creature has been spotted quite a few times by park rangers at High Point State Park. In one retelling, armed rangers went into the woods to discover what was making such a terrible noise, and they both came running back out, terrified and refusing to return to the area. One of the rangers, named Tom Card, said that the sound was like a scream and a howl that was quite unnerving. Tom is now retired, but he had spent 40 years of his life in the surrounding forests and knew this sound didn't come from any animal found in normal textbooks. A woman from Sussex County named J.D. Grant heard the calls of this being a few times, but in 1996 she got to see it firsthand. JD and a friend were walking down Layton Road, where they both suddenly saw a tall, hairy being walking on 2 legs, crossing into the forest before them. It was covered in fur, had red eyes, and very long, lanky arms. She recalled that it stood just inside the tree line watching them. The being didn't give off an ominous feeling, but the two decided to not go any farther and returned home. JD stated that the creature moved incredibly silent, which was impressive for its size. A woman named Amanda encountered this cryptid one night on her way home. While driving down a dirt road known as Shady Lane, she suddenly saw what she described as an awkward-looking bear. This creature walked bipedally, and she says when she stopped her car, the creature stopped as well. The two took a few minutes of staring at each other before the being walked across the road and vanished into the forest. Amanda stated that what was remarkable was that the creature had red pupils, since she could see the white around them. There are reports of this creature attacking and killing livestock, but as always it is simply ruled out as being a bear. Although on one occasion a witness heard the same blood-curdling screams, which was followed by the flashing lights of police cruisers. Not long after this, she heard gunshots, but no mention of the activity was ever mentioned in the paper. Even if it was something natural, you would think that there would be a public record of it. Now moving on, we find a cryptid that I really wanted to talk about since I first saw the name of it, and that is the Gatorman. This cryptid is actually found in various forms in many other states, frequently just called lizardmen, but the one in New Jersey has a particularly strange addition to the tale, although the state does have a fair share of lizardmen sightings also. I couldn't find much detail about this creature other than sightings were originally reported by settlers in the 1700s. However, in a more recent twist, this being started popping up again in reports in the Newton, Lafayette area in 1973 and abruptly stopped by 1977. From all the information I could gather, this cryptid looks exactly like its namesake would imply. It stands around 6 foot tall, walks on 2 legs, has clawed hands and feet, and it also has a humanoid head that is lined with incredibly sharp looking teeth. It also goes without mentioning that it has a long thick tail like an alligator. From all accounts, it has greenish brown scaly skin, and it has been said that it is smart enough to use primitive tools. On November of 1974, a man driving at night near the area of Wayne was startled by a reptilian creature crossing the road in front of his headlights. It was described as being tall, scaly, and had a reptilian head and bulging eyes. If we want to make this even stranger, I saw many reports that in 1977, Albert Holstruck, a New York City conservation naturalist, made an official report that the southern tier was home to a strange creature. In this report, he said, and I quote, "A scaled, man-like creature that appears at dusk from the red algae-ridden waters to forage among the ferns and moss-covered uplands." Now when I first saw this, my immediate thought was, even though I believe in some cryptids, that this must be some type of joke, since not many professionals would risk their career to make something like this public. Yet, I saw everyone reporting the same thing, even including cryptozoologist Lauren Coleman. I'm not wanting to make this a debunked video, but I did want to point out something I didn't find while looking this up. That is, anything about Albert Holstruck. Looking up his name provided no documents with this being said, no pictures of him, nothing. What it did bring up was references to him talking about the Gatorman and other people's websites about the cryptid, nothing firsthand. I am not saying everyone is lying, since this information can be hard to find, but at the moment, I find the official report suspect. Moving on, even though not much is written about this one, I can say that it won't be the last you hear of this cryptid, since Florida has one as well, and it has a lot more stories linked to it. The last one is going to be really strange, but I am including it since it once again proves that something that has been cited by many people, and that is ruled a myth, can actually exist. This is the story of the ghost cow, otherwise known as the Grigston cow, due to where it was seen. In that area, dairy farming was a big business, but as time went on, less farms would be found. In 1972, people started reporting seeing a large cow near the Millstone River flood plain, but every time the reports were checked, no evidence of an animal were left behind. Many of the sightings occurred during foggy weather, so just the shape of it could be seen. A few photographs were taken, but they all showed a quality that was akin to most Bigfoot images: blurry. These sightings continued for 30 years, and it became known as an urban legend and ruled a myth. This all changed when on November 23rd of 2002, a water authority employee called the DNR Park Canal office stating he saw a cow matching the description of the ghost cow lying in a ravine near the Raritan Canal. Park officials and the fire department arrived at the scene, and there was an old bull lying in the ravine. Sadly, this animal was very old and weak and had to be put down as it no longer could stand on its own. Due to no one claiming the cow or reporting one missing, it was buried near the canals that it had made its home. It is amazing that for 30 years this cow remained undetected for the most part and thrived off the land. While not truly a cryptid per se, it does make for an interesting story, proving that if a large cow can hide for 30 years, then many other cryptids could be doing the exact same thing. As usual, I didn't want to go over all cryptids found in New Jersey in great detail, since I always like to keep the door open for future cryptid spotlights. However, I would like to mention that in this state, it is said to be home to the Manus Man, which I did make a spotlight about already. Also, I found a few references to an alien big cat in the form of a maned lion being seen walking around as well. Lake Hopatcong was at one time said to house a sea monster, but there were a few sightings, and in one report it claimed the bones of the creature had actually washed up on shore. So by all accounts, the creature is dead, although there are no images of those bones. Another creature that I was going to include was the Wemetgunis, which are 3-foot-tall humanoids with supernatural abilities. The problem is that they are normally only found in the lore of the Lenape people, and generally are considered more as a myth. So as I end this week's video, I urge you to get your votes in for the next state to be covered. Even though 2 are leading the pack right now, you could quickly change that. Now we move on to 3 comments I particularly enjoyed reading from last week's video. Our first one comes from Conheavens, who says, "Hi friend, I say friend because you are in my house every night. Me and my daughter watch your videos every night and we love it. You are so interesting to listen to, and the way you approach every subject of your videos is truly amazing. Thank you so much, and don't stop saying later, as my little girl loves it. Thank you again from Australia." Wow, thank you so much for that, Conheavens. I am happy that you and your daughter enjoy my videos to the point that you make a night of them. However, I can't guarantee the quality of some of my older videos. It took a while to become comfortable speaking into a mic, so a few of my videos, they're pretty rough. The comment you made about your daughter loving the way I end my videos makes the point clear. I started saying it for one reason, but over the years it has become something that most people love, as shown with 90% of the comments from last week. I'm amazed to have such a loyal following, and from so many locations all over the world. I seem to have quite a few viewers from Australia, which is great. As for the friend part, I honestly do consider my viewers as almost an extended family. Many channels say that, but I mean it. The next comment comes from Skeptical Moose. "Congrats on the 30,000. Channels like yours are difficult to come by these days. Logical believers seem to be a rare commodity on YouTube. Some of the wildest arguments I've been in on here were with people who continue to try and validate videos that are admitted hoaxes. Keep up the great work, Moose." Thank you for that, Skeptical Moose. Yes, hitting the 30,000 subscriber mark has been mind-boggling for me. I view myself as just a simple guy in the forest lands of Pennsylvania who likes to make videos about odd topics. Yes, I am a believer in the paranormal and some cryptids, but at the same time I want the truth. With YouTube, in general, a lot of channels upload content for a shock value in an attempt to gain views, even if what they're posting has been known and accepted as a hoax. With this content, you frequently see that the creator rarely ever replies to comments. As for comments defending the videos, I get it in a way. Most people who subscribe would not want to think that their favorite YouTuber would intentionally be lying to them, so they go on the defensive. At the end of the day, people will believe what they want, regardless of what evidence there is. My goal is to provide the truth as best as I can. Yes, even I mess up, and I own up to that. But never will I upload something just for the sake of views, or in an attempt to intentionally mislead anybody. This is why, even when I give my opinion, I always leave it up to my audience to ultimately decide how they feel. The final comment comes from Amanda07, who says, I came across this channel just yesterday while getting my usual lazy Sunday cryptid horror fix, and ended up binge watching almost all of your videos. You had me at Jersey Devil, so of course I subscribed, but I had no idea how many subscribers you had, or that you were so close to a milestone. Congratulations on the 30,000 subscribers. I'm happy to be here just in time for the celebration. Thank you, Amanda07, and let me officially say welcome to the Cryptid family. Wow, I am impressed that you watched almost all my videos. That is almost 300 uploads, 293 as of this one to be accurate. I greatly appreciate it. I am sure that you saw in a few of my videos that the Jersey Devil is one of my favorite cryptids, outside of the Mothman of course. I originally thought it was simply an urban legend, but after looking into it, I turned into a believer that there was something in the Pine Barrens. So many reports from all walks of life, and including an entire trolley car full of people being attacked by it, seems hard to dismiss. As for the celebration, I am still thinking about what I can do to make it special, and at this moment, I am considering doing a live stream around Halloween. If you haven't yet done so, do please consider subscribing to my channel for topics similar to this, and also it would be greatly appreciated if you could share my content with someone you know who may be interested in this type of genre. With that, be safe, and I'll see you in the next one. Later!